Hello, and welcome to our next Security Middle East webinar. I'm joined today by Despina Stamatelos, who is a Senior Commercial Manager at Genetec, which are a world leader, I must say, in unified security solutions. But today we're speaking about a particular topic, a hot topic that we're seeing in the Middle East, and that is access control migration. So Despina, welcome to the magazine, and thank you so much for being here today.
Hello, and thank you for the invite. Appreciate it.
So let's just start from the top. So access control, I think in security really, is a pretty well-established term. However, what kind of additional changes are you seeing when it comes to access control migration? And really, in short, what's the point of changing or migrating in the first place?
Absolutely. So access control is a fairly traditional solution for many, many years. However, we've seen a lot of changes over recent years, a lot of transformation, digital transformation, and new technologies coming on. However, unlike video, where it's very visual, you could see changes that are happening in the quality of the video and whatnot. With access control, it's really hard to see the changes. If the door's locking and unlocking, well, great, it's working. And so people often organizations tend to keep their access control systems anywhere between 10 and 15 years. And they sort of live with the issues that come along with that. And then now we're seeing customers starting to think, well, maybe it's time to switch. And that's what a migration, you could refer to it as a takeover, a retrofit, a conversion. It's essentially people looking to switch their access control system and upgrading it.
Yeah. Then, yeah, how challenging is it, in your opinion, to go from these legacy systems to a new one? If you were to just pick a generic time frame, how long would it take, and what are the kind of key challenges there?
Well, it depends on the scope of the work. Oftentimes, a customer will not change. If they have multiple locations, we don't recommend going full force with everything. We use a phased approach, making sure, we phase out the legacy system and introduce the new system. If you ask, many customers, they see it as a huge mountain to climb. It's Mount Everest. So you got to rip equipment out. Will I have downtime? What we try to show them is that the pain of same is much larger than the pain of change. So they're sort of used to the pain that they go through every day with their old system, but the benefits they'll receive of switching to a new system will be much greater than sticking to the same.
Well, if you don't mind, I'll start with the negatives, and then we can work into the positives. So
absolutely.
What are the main pitfalls, would you say, for companies who don't upgrade?
Definitely there's, missing out on opportunities. You could do a lot more with an access control system today, from occupancy management, integrating it to different systems within your organization, management of elevators, HVAC. So there's an opportunity missed, not being able to do so and reaping the benefits of integrating into other type of systems. Oftentimes, old access control systems are very heavily integrated with video, or other type of security systems. Those integrations are often outdated. They get upgraded at different times. So training your operators to be able to manage those, having different SLAs, a lot of resources and time is spent on doing that. And then cybersecurity is a big one. We've seen over the last couple of years, there's been a lot of different cyber attacks that many large organizations have faced. And an unprotected access control system can be a point of entry for cyber criminals. And it's not only the physical aspect that they'll gain access to a protected area, but really is an entrance into an organization's network. And so a lot more can be stolen in terms of confidential information, intelligence from the organization by using an unprotected access control system to get access to that network.
Yeah, most definitely. I think we've seen in some of our research as well that some organizations have 20, 30 years old access management systems, and you hesitate to think about the types of cyber risks that might be there now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So in your opinion then, what are the kind of the key benefits then of updating from a legacy system, and in particular Genetec's approach as well?
Number one is new technology. Traditionally, access control systems were very proprietary. So you would buy all your hardware, your software from the same manufacturer. So then you were limited in your ability to really customize your solution to that particular customer's needs because you were limited to the technology that your access control provider had. more and more we're seeing access control being very open. In fact, Genetec, our Synergist system, is one of the most open platforms in the market. We work with over 30, 40 partners. That way our customers' unique needs are met by the technology that they require. Obviously, from a cybersecurity perspective, cybersecurity is at the heart of everything we do. So be it the partners we go with in terms of hardware, our own software, we have a cybersecurity department that ensures that everything we put out there is secure and protected. And as I mentioned before, is all the opportunities. Now we've seen research say that customers don't look at security as a capital expenditure, but they want to see what return can they get. So back to occupancy management, a lot of us now are going back into the office, but we'll be going back into the office very differently than we did before. We used to go 5 days a week. More people are going to go maybe 2-3 times a week. That means a lot of empty spaces. Organizations can use our access control to get data, analyze the data, and see what spaces are being used the most. Based on that information, well, they can say, you know what, we don't need four floors of space. We may need only 2 and consolidate offices in those 2 floors of a building. So there's a lot more customers can do with their access control system than just secure a particular area or a door.
Yeah, that's a really, really interesting answer there. I think if you can demonstrate that return on investment, particularly on security, which has always been a bit of a challenge, you're going to get far more buy-in into these types of products as well.
Even something, just to add, even something as simple as alarms. Alarms go off daily. Somebody's holding the door too long, and we don't know operators, which alarm do they actually look at, which do they actually investigate. With today's software and combining, our Synergist solution with Mission Control, we're able to analyze which alarms should be investigated and which shouldn't. That saves a lot of time and energy, and especially money from the customer's point of view.
Most definitely. For a layman or a layperson, would you be able to talk me through kind of an end-to-end procedure for migrating with Genetec? What would be the key steps?
Oh, absolutely. So once a customer, takes a decision, it's time to switch. They don't know where to start. And that's where Genetec comes in. And obviously we work with system integrators. We partner with our system integrator. First step is to analyze their current system. How does it work? What needs do they have? How is it not working for them? What are they missing? And really looking at all those workflows, looking at what they need in the future with their new system. Then we sit down with our integrator and we help them in the design of that solution. We also have our professional services team that does provide project management support for such migrations, because it could take up a lot of work. Oftentimes, organizations know they need to switch, but they don't do it because they don't have the internal resources to put in place to manage that project. And so we provide those resources, and we really provide a handheld approach through the whole process. And it could take, like I mentioned at the beginning, we'd like to start off slowly. Taking it all on at the same time can be very challenging. And so let's start, with even one area, one building, one location, and then we take it from there. So we do have a handheld approach, and we help our customers through the whole process.
Okay, excellent. I think there's 2 kind of ways of kind of people or organizations choosing to do this. And there's the proactive way with kind of exploiting the opportunities that you speak about there. But then there's the reactive. And I've got a question related to that. I think a lot of organizations in the Middle East in particular, and multinationals there, are reacting to privacy and data protection regulations. How do you think that's impacted kind of users' reasons for having up-to-date access control solutions?
Oh, there's a big impact. Absolutely. We're seeing different regulations being put in place all over the world. Government regulations, regulations in specific industries, and organizations have to make the switch. If not, then they could face heavy fines. And so we've seen customers where they were hesitant before to switch, but now their arm is almost being twisted, but they shouldn't look at it that way. There's a great opportunity to have a new access control system, again, that's going to do a lot more than just protect them. Most definitely.
I think I'll probably finish them on a more of a tangible question. So if you were to say some of the CISOs or the security directors watching this presentation here, what are the top 2 or 3 questions that they need to ask their system integrators about migrating their access control solutions? What would you tell them?
Number one, they need to ask their experience in doing so. Like we said, there is a heavy lift in switching, and you do need to be able to work with a partner that knows what they're doing, that has experience in converting access control systems, and that are working with the right partners. Are they still working with software providers and manufacturers that are using proprietary hardware? You're not going to switch the old for something that's a bit less old. You want to switch the old for something that's modern and new, and that we mentioned, have a great return on their investment. Secondly is their cybersecurity outlook. How is that important to them as their integrator? Do they work with manufacturers that take cybersecurity at heart? And then thirdly, what is their support process throughout? We've seen integrators go in and they're like, okay, here's the design. We'll be there to install it when it's time. And there's a lot to prepare in between. What is their process? How do they support you throughout the whole procedure? Those are important questions to be asked.
Yeah, most definitely. I think it's a risk question, really. I think if you look at access management, and especially organizations, particularly across the Middle Eastern market, that have these legacy systems, this is certainly something that organizations need to consider moving forward.
Absolutely.
So that pretty much wraps up the questions from my side there. So anyone that has been listening to the presentation today, please do explore the Genetec website. You'll find far more information on there than we could have ever covered in these 15 minutes. But Despina, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us at Security Middle East Magazine today. We are really very thankful for your time, and I'm sure the people on the line are very thankful as well.
Really appreciate it. Thank you so much.